course, we're talking about Diddy, specifically the Diddy documentary by 50 Cent on Netflix. Everybody else is talking about it. Why would we not talk about it? It's the biggest thing to talk about.
It's called The Reckoning, by the way. They did say, what was his original title for it going to be? Like, did he do it or something like that? I guess he changed it.
I wonder why he changed it. Well, did he do it, I guess, because it's post-trial? Right. Is the reason why it doesn't make sense to have it as a question anymore. Mm-hmm. Anyway, it's still a question. But anyway, I guess he didn't do RICO.
Or did he? Or was the jury tainted and then he helped him get away with it?
There's so much. Did he do all of these things? Like, did they? There's a lot of stuff going on. And this documentary is full of accusations.
Details that I didn't know before.
Ooh.
Learned some more stuff about Aubrey, who's been for years complaining about him. She spoke in more detail about her situation. His former, what is he to him? His assistant manager? Something like that. Somebody that's worked with him for
somebody was an A&R, somebody was a producer. There's a whole bunch of people in there. A lot of, you know who didn't speak? Stevie J.
I don't think he would have nothing bad to say.
Well, did you have to have something bad to say? As far as I understand, 50 wanted to hear from everybody.
Right, but 50 wanted to hear from Diddy. But it seems like mostly everybody that was on Diddy's camp didn't participate. That's still like friends with Diddy didn't participate in it. So I guess they felt like because it was 50, it was still against Diddy.
A couple of the jurors who basically found Diddy not guilty of the RICO, they came on. Well, they had something to say. I don't know if they said much, but they said something. Like, all the people, like, it's just like a list of people who were in the documentary. Like, there are a few. Don't we have that list somewhere? Like, all the people who were in it?
Yes, we do.
Yeah, it's just like Craig Mack's wife. Oh, my God, Aubrey. That might have been the moment that stood out the most to me. I think Kirk Burrows had moment after moment after moment. Everything Kalina say pretty much sounds like things I've already heard. I don't know who Q is. Quandale Mosley.
Making the Band contestant.
He was on Making the Band. That's right. He was. I remember when Making the Band was out. Like all of those things we were seeing, even watching it, like we would think like this is a bit much. Walking over the bridge to go get cheesecake.
Apparently, we learned later that cheesecake was for Beyonce or something like that. That was just a random fact.
Wait, they mentioned that in the documentary?
No, they didn't. But that was actually a thing before the documentary came out because they were complaining about the cheesecake and I guess another documentary or something like that. But then they mentioned that that's who it was for. Allegedly.
It's a lot, and it's. I would say this by far is the best documentary on Diddy's situation. Even though there are a lot that probably aren't even watchable in the first place, or they're just not exciting. I wasn't even excited about this one at first, and then after a while, I just decided to start watching. And then once I started watching, I couldn't stop. I had to watch it all the way through.
Biggest bombshells from the new 4-part Diddy docuseries that just dropped on Netflix.
She would have me put the baby oil on. She took the bottle and said, no, that's not enough.
One, Diddy's freak-offs allegedly had a connection to both Tupac and Biggie. It's claimed Diddy wouldn't allow Tupac's music to be played during them. And this, according to an escort who says he was paid $6,000 for 2 days of sex work.
Come on, the party has begun. Happy Biggie Day. Let's go.
Every March 9th, the day Biggie got murdered, they would fly me to wherever they were. I would hang out, drink, and party with them for 3-4 days while I had sex. I don't know if that was his release for that day or whatever, but they always called me on March 9th.
Of course, many allege Diddy had a role in the killings, the doc revealing never-before broadcast footage from the moments just before the drive-by shooting of Biggie.
We have a man shot.
The next bombshell, 2 jurors explained that while they believe Diddy was guilty of violent behavior, their hands were tied.
You can say he was a terrible person, but domestic violence wasn't one of the charges.
Do you think that justice was served?
100%. We saw both sides of it.
I think you got the atomic bomb.
But perhaps most interesting is how hours of private Diddy footage wound up being used in Sean Combs' The Reckoning.
I'm gonna send it to you right now. I'm gonna definitely need you to go on the record. I'm asking for a big favor.
Diddy's team claims it was stolen, but Netflix has fired back, alleging it has the necessary rights and was obtained legally. Diddy's lawyers also slammed Netflix for bringing on 50 Cent, Diddy's longtime rival, as an executive producer, alleging he has publicly attacked Diddy for decades.
If I didn't say anything, you would interpret it as the hip hop is fine with his behaviors. There's no one else being vocal.
Before I even move on to the next thing, let's start with why 50 even decided to get involved in the first place. Like,
there is so much going on with that. They already said in this that they had a long-standing rivalry. Apparently, Diddy dated one of his exes who apparently was a Jane Doe in the trial. Her name was
Jane Doe.
Daphne, and she was.
Oh, what happened to Jane Doe?
Well, Daphne was in a relationship with 50 Cent before she was with Diddy, and apparently or allegedly that's why he was mad. But
doesn't she have a baby by him?
She has a baby by him, and she also accused 50 Cent of some things as well before the Diddy trial too. So I'll probably get into that in another video another time because some interesting things with that too. But that is what has been going on with them. But maybe they actually had a rivalry before that, but that's what made it explode.
I know 50 was mad, very mad, and he wouldn't let it go that Diddy offered to take him shopping. And it seemed like 50 never got over that.
Yeah.
It just,
that's interesting too.
Start from what's happening overall. Like, what's your overall take, like, from the thing? Like, what do you think? What did you think last week before the documentary dropped compared to what you think now, or what thoughts you have overall?
Overall, I thought it was a good documentary, but not much of my thoughts of Diddy about or anything that happened has changed. I just feel like I got more details and more exact situations that happened. But other than the juror speaking out, I don't think too much of my thought process about the whole situation has changed.
You know, the good thought process about not just the whole situation, but like overall, not what you think about Diddy as a person, right? And all of the things that happened leading up to the trial, and especially the last few days, like where my thing is.
That's what say the exclusive footage. That's what I wanted to talk about. Apparently, I don't know if they said it in that clip, but I don't think they did. Apparently, the people with the footage were already mad because Diddy being Diddy and the grimy person that he is, he didn't pay the photographers or the videographers. So they ended up just selling it to Netflix because they needed to benefit off of it somehow. Because they said they were spending over 24 hours of just getting footage, and he wasn't trying to pay them. So that was crazy.
Well, speaking about Diddy being Diddy, the fact that he was having it recorded in the first place, you're on trial for something. He must have been like, I want to document everything. Yeah. And then people are thinking maybe he was making his own documentary for whatever he was going to put out, possibly if he would have beat the trial or whatever. I mean, he beat one of the charges. He didn't beat the case overall because he's still, actually, he's still in jail or still in prison. I always like mix those two words. But is it a little narcissistic to record yourself, knowing that a lot of the stuff that's in the trial you are guilty of, and then you're recording yourself, calling people, telling them what to do to get the charges taken away, kind of like doing things that you might not want people to know you did, but I guess, do you want people to know you did it?
I actually feel like he don't think he did nothing wrong, even the stuff he's guilty of, like his argument that it wasn't a crime in his head. So I don't know how he exactly feels about that personally.
And then I did hear people say he records everything, like no matter what's going on, he's recording it. I think it was Lil Rod or one of them that said like there are always cameras around all over the place. Like, and so he has somebody just recording his every move, but like recording you while you talk to your lawyer. I feel like attorney-client privilege should require that people don't record you. But I guess if you're the client and you're recording yourself, it doesn't count. I don't know. Like, how does that work?
Yeah, I don't know if that counts.
Yeah, like you're recording yourself and it's your situation. So if you record yourself and then you end up doing or saying something incriminating, you're doing it to yourself. And then it's just like, at some point he said they told me not to do nothing. Like he said, God told him not to say nothing or not to do nothing. So I don't know. That was interesting and confusing to me too. But it was definitely interesting. What do we have here?
Him trying to get the documentary taken down because of the private footage that they used, but Netflix, they rejected it and said like, yeah, they don't have to do that pretty much. So they not going to take it down.
Yeah, I didn't think they were going to have to take it out. I'm sure the Netflix, which again, another topic, their money and their power and what they're doing with Warner Brothers, whatever it was. But Netflix is a whole different entity with a lot of power as it is. And I really believe that Netflix actually has lawyers and all types of people to go through all of these things to make sure their shows are safe or at least legal to push out. And they probably have all types of backup plans and stuff. So I'm pretty sure like when they were like, let's make sure this is going to work, they did their homework to make sure it was going to work. So I don't know if that was a cease and desist or whatever that was.
Yeah, it was a cease and desist.
Well, they asked them to take it down. They probably like checked their lawyers with the multi-billion-dollar company with their multi-billion-dollar lawyers. Probably checked them and were like, "Do we need to take this down?" And I'm sure they were like, "Nope, you don't."
Right? Yeah.
And that's how it went.
So Diddy still being Diddy after all of this happened with the documentary. He sends 50 Cent flowers, but 50 seems like he took it as a threat, maybe. So Diddy's still doing weird stuff after all of this trial is
Diddy
over.
being Diddy, 50 being 50.
Right, yeah. So this is a post 50 made after getting the flowers from, he said they came from Diddy. Said, what kind of gay issues this? Diddy send me flowers at Club 11. LOL. Why all the foreplay? Get busy. You know I'm stupid.
And then he follows up with a warning. I'm 90s grimy ninja. You don't warn me, LOL. So I guess he's trying to say that those flowers were a warning from Diddy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, he did say he's stupid. And I guess he really meant that. Like he's trying to say he's stupid, like he doesn't understand things. And then and the funny thing is the first thing I noticed was that he spelled foreplay wrong. He spelled foreplay is one word, first of all. And then he spelled it as two separate words using like 4 as the number and then play. But it just doesn't fit, but because we know who it's coming from. And then in the same sentence, he says he's stupid. We kind of just assume we understand what he's saying, right? Like he means foreplay like FORE play, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he's saying like he's saying he's actually stupid. Like
he said, but he said he's actually
like he don't need foreplay because I guess that's like
too much
extra
for him
stuff. Yeah.
Too much for him to try to figure out.
Right.
He's like, I don't want to have to figure out this flower business. Just bring it on. Just like you said, just get busy.
Yeah. Right. Exactly.
Just get busy.
So that was a weird situation that happened after.
Well, let me ask you a question though. And what is your interpretation of 90s grimy?
90s.
What is
grimy.
that?
90s grimy. I haven't really thought about it. 90s grimy. I'm assuming that just means like you grimy, and I'm assuming he's saying I actually think he's saying he's like Diddy as far as like he could play with you type stuff because he's famous and stuff. I don't know. That's what
I'm curious. Like, what type of grimy is associated with the 90s?
I'm thinking I would think like business stuff, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, like I guess that means I'm gonna hit you back in the pockets and with your reputation, or whatever. Or does it mean let's take it to the streets? Like, what does 90s grimy mean? Anyway,
I don't think it means that in a situation where he's talking to Diddy.
Yeah, especially when you talk about 50. 50 is definitely a different kind of petty. So, yeah. Well, moving on because we don't need to stay on that too long. Both of us, we can definitely talk about 50 Cent and his level of petty all day long. There's so many people who have something to say about 50. I'm not sure if this is as much people who have something to say about Diddy, but if you pay attention, there are a lot of people who are mad at 50 for even making the documentary in the first place. They're saying that it's hypocritical and
interesting.
Other things. They're saying that, I guess as a thug or whatever 50 Cent is supposed to be, he shouldn't be, kind of doing that to Diddy. I mean, I'll say it's petty. I mean, I've seen people on their podcasts, I've seen reactions on YouTube, and I've heard people that I know in real life say that, like 50 was messed up for doing that, or wrong, or stupid, or, a punk, or whatever words they use. But people will definitely come for 50 about this.
Yes. So, but there's people that definitely, I think, like Diddy less than they like 50 because they have personal experiences with him, like the people in the documentary. And one of them was Kirk Burroughs, who's been what is he to him? His manager? Co-founder of the label.
Mm-hmm.
So he's known him for a while. He's been through him with all the situations with Tupac, Diddy, everything that's been going on. He's been right there for all of it. But he, at the end, claims that Diddy did something to him too, which was weird.
What, that he had saved him?
Yeah.
That might have been the most shocking part. And then they wait to the end, family. And it was like, I never saw it coming. Like, he's just talking about all of these things that happened, and then this happened, and that. And then he's just talking, and he's so nonchalantly just says it, like, just hand in this. I mean, straight like that. And I'm assuming maybe he said it somewhere else. They just waited to the end of the documentary to play it. But it's just like, whoever edited this, good job. Mm-hmm. The editing, I mean, overall, whatever you call the thing that makes a documentary come together and makes it impactful, impeccable. It was very good. Yeah, it was very watchable, even listenable. Mm-hmm. The whole everything. Craig Mack's wife, the way she was talking.
Oh yeah, I forgot about her. Yeah. What was she saying about Craig Mack again?
That he wasn't getting paid, or he wasn't getting money, and then they said they even asked Diddy for money, offered to pay it back, and all he gave him was like $100 or something like that. What are you supposed to do with $100?
No, he pulled out a stack of like $5,000 and picked out $100 bill to give him, like mad, like, what do you call it? He's just like, he wanted.
Petty? I don't know what cheap. What's the word?
No, he wants the people, everybody that's like his arts, to feel like they're below him and keep them feeling that way. So he does little stuff like that, like keep them broke so they could stay in their positions that's beneath him.
Need him.
Yeah, right. People that need them. Mm-hmm.
Yes, like they basically keeping people with their hand out all the time and needing him to put something in their hands or whatever. But
yeah,
that's terrible. Like, it's modern day slavery.
Mm-hmm.
It's just another way to keep somebody as your slave. Yeah. And then if they break away, it's like, where are they going? Because I don't want to make this video last forever, but there are several people who have said that he's played with their money.
Yes.
And left them, kind of in need.
So we get to that next.
We can get to that next. And then we played that. I mean, I'm talking about paperwork too, to where you can't even get out of contracts or deals, or things like that. Oh,
yeah, there was a list. Why can't I find a list now? Oh, here it is. So there was a list with of his, specifically artists with complaints against him. Mace was one of them. He spoke out about his business practices and stuff. And 112, I didn't know about that one.
I didn't know about that one either. I knew about the Locks.
And
of course, Danny Kane.
Dawn Richard, she was in the trial too. And Lil Rod, of course, we seen him in the doc. Shine, he had some money complaints against him too.
Didn't Shine say he was supposed to give him some money while he was in jail? Like, Shine was supposed to get money while he was locked up.
Yeah, and that didn't happen. Yep.
Oh, the lock shows there. Okay.
Or he gave him a significantly less amount than what he was supposed to get, or something like that.
So he's mad. I mean, I guess when you're in the industry, people are going to be mad at you. But I mean, we consistently get people mad at you about the same thing. At some point, there becomes a common denominator, right?
Yes. Oh, and those were just the alive people. There's some more dead people that had complaints about him, like B.I.G., Craig Mack, rest in peace, Black Rob. I feel like there was somebody else too, but yeah, those are also people.
Yes, there's a lot. I mean, but a lot of this stuff was mentioned before, and I'm sure 50 Cent knew. 50 Cent's been probably like just not caring for a while, and then once he started having a little bit of beef with Diddy, he was like, all right, I'm just gonna make a documentary now since you played with me. I know. I have definitely realized, first of all, neither one of them are nobody to play with. Like, you can't play with Diddy, you can't play with 50 at all. Under no circumstances, you do anything to either one of them, it's going to be a problem. It's going to be a whole problem. There were people who came back and came out and said some of that stuff wasn't true, because there was a part in the documentary where is this where it's oh, there we go, right there, where they were saying that they were going to make the funeral be at the expense of Biggie's estate. And then people like came back and said that that's not really true. But here, this looks like what we have on the screen.
Yes.
It says T with T.
Well, so Biggie's estate spoke out. I don't know who's in control of that now.
It's probably his mother.
She died.
His
mother just died.
Oh, she just died. Okay,
right,
so that's probably whoever.
Right, yeah.
Says Diddy's estate says Diddy didn't seek reimbursement for his funeral, and the documentary for The Reckoning got it wrong. Wayne Burrow says it was Wayne Burrow who is another person. I don't think he's related to Kirk Burrows though.
No, that's Wayne Barrow. So yeah, that's two different people. That's two different names,
okay, Barrow. Okay, Barrow. That makes sense. And he says that Diddy paid for everything in 1997, and nothing was pushed onto Biggie's estate. He also says there were no contract issues. Biggie's money was straight before he passed.
There was also people that were saying that there was no problem if he did do that, because that was his artist and that would still be his money in a sense. So there was mixed feelings on that too.
So yeah, and then there were also people who said, how would you know? If people are good with playing dirty with money,
right?
How are the people who are getting played know?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So there's like a whole bunch of different things.
There was a whole lot of Biggie getting played in the documentary too. I felt so bad after knowing more details too.
Especially when it came to Tupac. Like, oh my God, it was like Biggie wanted to be friends. Like the way it shows it, like Biggie wanted to be friends with Tupac, but Diddy was like, ain't no way, because I don't like Tupac. So he was going to do everything he could to make sure Tupac stayed in his place and didn't get close to Biggie. And I guess at some point he did still kind of get close to Biggie because Biggie wanted the friendship.
Yeah.
And
but did Tupac never like Diddy though? He was like, I don't want to be a friend to Diddy pretty much. So
is it possible that that's the reason why Diddy didn't like Tupac?
That's exactly what I think it is, because he seems like the type that don't like nobody that ain't obsessed with him. He want everybody to look at him like he's God, pretty much.
And if you like, I don't want to be your friend, it's just like, who you think you are?
You're right. Yeah.
And then the documentary seems to indicate that because of this, the Tupac stuff, that Diddy didn't want Tupac to exist anymore.
Yeah, that's been a rumor for a while, but yeah.
It's been a rumor for a while. I would say the rumor that Diddy has something to do with the death of Tupac has been around for a while. Oh, also Biggie. But I didn't hear the details about why Diddy didn't like Tupac.
And also I didn't know some details about, like, they wouldn't even know Tupac was there if the girls wasn't shouting out his name and stuff like that. It was like small details. I was like, oh my gosh.
Oh, those things.
Oh my gosh. And the Biggie situation where he didn't even want to go back to Cali, and Diddy forced him to go back to Cali, and that's why he got killed. That was so sad.
Oh, that's why he got unalive.
Yeah, unalive. Yeah, that's why he got unalive, because
not that that's funny, but I was just saying,
back to Cali.
You gotta remember to say it right.
Yeah, so yeah, they were mad that, well, Biggie never wanted to go back to Cali, but he ended up getting unalive, going back to Cali, because Diddy wanted to have this party to show that, he wasn't scared of that side or whatever.
So you know how, like, I'm going back to like Diddy recording everything. So I always, believe that all of those little preludes and interludes in the albums where they have them on the phone, that might be a reason why Diddy liked to record everything. Mm-hmm. If you listen to Going Back to Cali, at the beginning, there's like a prelude. And then it's Diddy on the phone calling Biggie. And Biggie is telling him to take down flight information. And then he's just like LAX. And then Biggie is like, oh, Cali? Mm-hmm. And he sounds like confused almost and surprised that they're going to Cali. And then now with all of this coming out, it makes sense that he was surprised about going to Cali. But like in the song, like in the prelude to the song, it sounds like,
Yeah.
it almost sounds like he's surprised in a good way. But now, hindsight, I'm starting to think maybe he was surprised because, like, why would we go to Cali?
And there was plans for him to go somewhere else in another country to meet somebody else too around that same time. But he had to cancel that to do
So,
this.
like, yeah, like, so Biggie might have thought, like, oh, we're about to make plans to go do this.
Right.
And then all of a sudden he's like LAX, and it's just like,
Yeah.
okay. And then, I guess he trusts that, this is all right. So he keeps taking down information.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm not mistaken, I think he said, oh, Cali, and then it cuts off and then the beat drops for going back to Cali. I mean, it's dope on a track. Like, the way it flows into the track is really, really good. Genius. When it comes to making music, all of that music is genius. You can't take none of that away from Diddy. Mm-hmm. All of the stuff behind it is a lot. Right. It's dramatic.
Okay. Any final thoughts?
Very dramatic. One thing I will say is with Aubrey. Aubrey.
So, like, I remember watching Making the Band back in the days when she was on it, and I remember how he would treat her, but I didn't see it as weird at that time, to be honest, because, like, he was saying she was over sexual or something like that. But it was like, now that all the stuff is coming out too, I was like, yeah, that's really weird for you to pinpoint her as being over sexual.
And then she even said that he was telling her she was like the looker of the group or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, basically, it seems like he was like honing in on her looks,
right?
And trying to make her be the visual thing. But overall, we know how he is when it comes to that type of stuff. Now, even if we didn't know then, we know now. But the part where she reads that letter and which is like, this part stood out to me so much to the point where, like, I'm still a little bit emotionally attached to it because I understand the way she reacted, especially to where she was saying, like, if it did happen, she doesn't even want to know. Mm-hmm. And it's basically, I mean, I don't want to go through it, but when she's reading the letter, it's somebody writing a letter. Who was the person who wrote the letter?
I don't think they said.
She said who it was, but that person is actually saying that what she witnessed, and she's saying that she witnessed Aubrey being like SA'd while she was like out of it, like she's drugged up or drunk or something, and she's like, she's 100% sure that it was Aubrey. She was like, there's no doubt in her mind at all that it was Aubrey, and Aubrey is saying she cannot recall that, like, whether or not she was really that drugged up or if she just put it out of her memory because it was something she don't remember. She said, but whatever, she really can't recall it. And then she also said she doesn't want to. And then she said if it did happen, she doesn't want to know. And I kind of can understand why she would say she doesn't want to know, because especially if she's healed from all of that or is trying to move on with her life, to have that like have to be something new to revisit or to to have come back up, even though I do think it could be a form of therapy. Well, you'll need therapy for one, but it could help with your therapy. But it's just like, I get where she's coming from. Yes. I get where she's coming from. But it's just, if it did happen, it's sad and it's messed up. And also based on everything else, I probably wouldn't be surprised. My final thought is that this the whole documentary was very interesting. It's good. It went like straight to number one, pretty much. It was like, it played for like a day and then it was number one. And Netflix did their thing. They knew what they were doing by having this. Whoever helped, all of the people, all the production, good job overall on just getting the message across. We don't know what's true. We don't know what's not, what isn't, but we hear everybody. We're hearing like different people's sides of the stories, and we're hearing from people who didn't really get to tell their story. So I think that's good too.
Yes, I guess so. So my final thought is, like, yeah, it was a good documentary. There are still some people that I know people don't believe completely, like Capricorn Clark and Little Rod. But I still think at least most of what they say and sounds believable. Like, I know one of the jurors was saying, like, they didn't believe when she said she got kidnapped because it sounded, I guess, too crazy to them or whatever they were trying to say. But like, you hearing all this other monstrous stuff about him, it starts to sound a bit believable. And you got Little Rod saying that he woke up next to him and didn't know what happened the night before too. Like, that sounds like it could have happened.
And then just to go back into Capricorn Clark not being believable in the juror, she even said that there was the attorneys were making her sound so non-believable that they had to accept that she wasn't a credible witness overall. Like, even if some of the stuff she said was true, they had to just count her as a non-credible witness. So you have to count somebody as non-credible, even if some of the things they say is true, you still can't include the statements from that witness.
Yeah.
And you can't even try to figure out what's true and what's not. The person is just not credible.
And that other woman juror that was in the documentary, she seemed like a Diddy fan a little
She
bit.
did.
Yes.
She said, I grew up listening to this.
Yeah, like I want to say, isn't that against who they were supposed to pick for the jury? So that was a bit weird that ended up happening.
That's interesting. That other guy, that one guy, I don't know what he was, but he was a foreigner. And the way he was describing,
he said it was like a romantic something.
Yes.
It was weird. It was like
the way he describes, like, this is how you see it.
right. Yeah.
But it shows how everybody sees things differently.
Yeah,
and people are viewing things from their own perspective. And just because, like, I might see it one way, you'll see some another way. Everybody sees everything different. Everybody has a different journey. Everybody has a different mindset. Yes. Everybody is influenced differently. So it just depends. Like, some people can just be influenced by stardom, and some people can just be influenced by relatability, and some people can just be influenced by trauma. Like, everything just happens for everybody different. That's why you have to have 12 jurors, because you need so many different people to come together and be like, even though I think like this and you think like that, as a whole, we have to find a common ground. But that's about trials. This documentary was about opinions and people's stories. So that was everybody just saying straight what they wanted to say from their own walk.
Well, except for the jurors, but
the jurors were even saying how they felt as a juror.
Yeah,
yeah, even with that. Yeah,
so that goes right into the trial.
Right into the trial. Yes. All right, that's all I have to say. Thank you. I'm Natasha.
I'm Diddy J.